There it is. Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to an audio episode of the DTI Takeover Show here on Total Praise Radio. I'm your girl, Miss Kayla. So y'all know what my job is. I am here to spotlight, to shine light on another awesome entrepreneur. You guys know what we like to hear do on the DTI Takeover Show. We like to interview our guests. We like to interview our authors, our publishers, all of our business owners, all of our entertainers. Anybody who has something going on that we know that you need to tap into, that you need to get hip to, we spotlight them here on Total Praise Radio. And of course, they let you know how they gave God the glory, how God has been their foundation in everything that they're doing. So, without further ado, I have Miss Lisa T with me. She is the entrepreneur extraordinaire. I'm going to call her the Jill of all trades. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I am wonderful, and it's great to finally get to be on here. We have tried for a week, I believe.
Yes, we have, but we done made it. We done made it. So, Lisa, before we get into like the real business, entrepreneurial stuff that you've done, let's let everybody know a little bit about Lisa.
Well, I am called Lisa T. I live in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. I used to work at WQLT in Florence, Alabama for Mr. Sam Phillips, who discovered Elvis, by the way. Had a great run there for many, many years. Messed up my vocal cords. They told me I wouldn't be able to talk again, so I kind of retired radio and continued to stay in the music biz. I believe in what musicians do. They carry messages that are dear to me. So my dad was a musician. My whole family are musicians. So we used to do a lot of benefits in the area. So I continued doing that after I got out of radio. And then I would do, I got social media. I like to do social media. My story started getting out there about different things that I do. I got an award last year for doing over 500 benefits that I did not realize I had done. I mean, Mayday Music Fest is one of my biggest. We started it about 5 years ago, and it was a 100% benefit for flood victims in the area, and it kind of grew every year. And it started 6 years ago. I took a year off. Mm-hmm. And it has been nothing but a miracle. I mean, Mayday Music Fest has worked miracles for everybody ever involved. I mean, we've had over 200 volunteers a year. Wow. Just to run the Mayday Music Fest. So, and everybody from the musicians to the sound to everything is donated. What I can't work and trade, with some of my entrepreneurship things that I do.
Absolutely.
So I do a little bit of everything. I'm kind of like the Walmart of entrepreneurs.
I love that. I love that. So, Lisa, what made you get into radio? Like, what do you love most about radio?
Well, I love to entertain. I love to make people smile. I love to spread the good of anything. I mean, I don't do drama and stuff like that. I really don't like it. I get in the middle of it sometimes, as we all do, but I don't like it. So it's easy to get into drama. It's not as easy to get into happy. Mm-hmm. So when I got into radio, it was actually an accident. I was working as a waitress at a hotel bar, and that's true. And I didn't have a name tag. I had just started. And so I dug in a drawer and I got a name tag out. It said Chuck. And I put it on thinking they would get me a name tag. Well, it backfired. People started coming to see the girl named Chuck. Well, Sam Phillips came twice, sat in my section. We talked both times. I knew nothing of him. I did not know who he was. We ended up talking. He told me he liked my personality, that it was like a fungus. Oh, no, he told me that he liked my personality, that it stuck to him. And I asked him, was he calling me a fungus? And he put me to work that night on radio.
Wow.
And I just loved it. I love to entertain. I like to talk. That's the bottom line. I really like to talk.
good.
So I stuck with it. I stuck with it for a long time and loved every minute of it. Raised 3 children in radio. Worked a few other jobs on the side as well because that was years ago. You didn't get paid nowhere near what you think you would in radio. So,
Right, right.
um, but I did. I loved just spreading happy. I'm a happy person. Anybody will tell you. I love smiling,
I
and I
love
like to make
it.
others smile.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, how or when did you start, or what made you start the Mayday Festival?
Um, about 6 years ago,
Mhm.
we had a major flood here. Now, my family has been known for doing odds and end benefits here and there. My daughter, Terry, came up to me and she said, Mom, we got to do something. She said, let's do a festival. And I was like, okay. So we did. I mean, we did it within a couple of months. We put one together. Wasn't too large. We raised a little bit of money. We got to help a few families out. We surprised a few families with some cash. And it done what it was supposed to do. The year after, now we did one during COVID. Uh, we hooked up with some guys up in Tennessee who have been with us every year to help go live on our May Day. And during COVID, we knew we were going to have restrictions. We knew we didn't want to make it go away. We wanted to continue forward.
Right.
Um, so we did, and we arranged it to where you could listen to the concert on stage at the park in Tuscumbia in your car. And we had our vendors set up. We had everything marked. People got out of their cars, went and visited the vendors, and then they would come back and get in their car and listen to the musicians. So it actually happened. Now
Oh,
we
wow.
drew we kind of steered everybody to the organization that we were helping at that time to keep from having to. So I don't know what they raised. We never go back and check if we do that. We just kind of keep moving forward, and we hope that we build something that can continue to pay them and help them as the years to come. So
That's
that's how we started.
amazing. That's how you got started. And so you guys are still going strong.
We
Um,
are. We just did our first 2 day May Day. I teamed
really?
up with a young lady that does local events for the past 2 years. And this year we did a 2 day May Day, and it was rough. Oh, it was rough. But it was successful. We had a great program. We had a great time, and we had to move it due to rain. It set us back a little bit, but it happened, and we were very proud of it.
Got you. So do you do these like the same time every year, around the same time every year?
We usually try to do them in May.
Okay.
Sometimes we have to do May Day in June or May Day in July, but we try to do it in May around Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
And we do call it one of the largest pay it forward programs ever because, we're helping people that help people that help people. I
Right.
mean, this year we helped a rehab center and a volunteer fire department. I
Wow.
mean, how big of a pay it forward can you get on that one? That rehab
Right.
center helps people. I mean, doctors and lawyers and such that help people, and the fire department does the same. And it just to me it's a different way of looking at things. I just my way of looking at it is how many can we help with this program, not just this entity and that entity. What are they going to do with it once they get it? You know, so it's a really cool program.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, Miss Lisa, you have said before that you have a story to tell, and
I
I
do.
want to give you some time to at least share with us a little piece of your story.
Okay, because I do have a book that's coming soon.
Hmm.
I do have this story is going to be told. It's been asked for a couple of years now. I am an abuse survivor. From day I was born up until 2 years ago, I was abused. So, narcissist seemed to be what I attracted in my past, and addicts. Even though I'm not an addict, I seem to be an addict magnet. So, um, but then I got to wondering why. Why was I abused so bad? Why was I beat on? I mean, I've been beaten on, left for dead. I've had hits out. I mean, you name it, it's happened. And to be public and have to go through this stuff in a public way, because I do share all my stuff publicly as much as I can without going a little overboard or getting into the nitty gritty. I have to ask myself, how do I do it and why do I do it? So I'm here to save as many people as I can. I'm not going to lie. I don't want anybody to be hit on. I don't want anybody to have to endure being called the names that bullying, pretty much 24/7 bullying. And I want them to know that there are ways to get out of things that you're in the midst of. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I can't tell you how many times I've been on my knees praying, crying, screaming for help and thinking that I have just been left to die. And I can't tell you how many times I have got on my knees and prayed, just take me now, because I can't take my own life. I am not that type of person. This cannot be what you have for me.
Right.
And then when I come out of it, I understand why. It's because I have a mouth, I have a voice. And because I am not scared to stand up, I got chills, I'm sorry. Stand up and say, you know what, my God, my universe, my spirit guides, my angels, my ancestors, whatever you want to call it, Jesus, whoever it is you're looking up to, we're all looking up to the same person. I can guarantee you that.
Right.
Had a plan for me to discuss and chat with everybody and let them know that you don't have to lay in a ball on the floor and cry every night. You don't have to endure that over and over and over because you're terrified and you don't know what to do. So my God put me through some things, or let me live through. I don't think he put me through them because we all have a choice. He let me endure it and live through it and kept me conscious enough to know that he was there.
Yes.
And that they were showing me that I wasn't going to die. I'm going to come out on the other side. I'm going to be able to speak about my story.
Yes.
My last relationship was horrid. The gentleman is passed now, so I don't want to say anything ugly about him, but I will tell how he made me feel. He was a narcissist. He was an addict. He abused me. He done some things that will be coming out in my book that were just really, really, really horrible. I feared for my life every day. I thought I was going to get sold there a couple of times. I'm not going to lie.
Wow.
So, but if it wasn't for me being able to pray and know and feel it deep in my heart, as much stuff that was going on around me, I was at peace. I was calm on the inner side. My brain might have been doing this sometimes, but my heart wasn't. And I know it sounds crazy and people don't understand that until you're actually in that position. And I've heard it said a million times, why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave? But until you're there, you cannot judge. And that's another thing I don't do. I judge nobody. I judge nobody. That's what gets me in a lot of the things I get into. I don't. I judge nobody. I've been judged all my life. I get judged publicly every single day because rumors get to going around and people believe them. Some of them are true, some of them aren't, of course. But I stand in my grace and in my power of knowing that I'm good. I know where my intentions are. I know who I talk to every day, every night. I stay in spirit 24/7. I don't come out. And now, don't get me wrong. I may slip a cuss word every once in a while to get my point across. But we have this understanding that I do that.
I get you. I'm right there with you, Ms. Lisa.
So the way I speak is different. And people tend to hear what I say. So yes, I have to speak on how I have been drugged through the mud of hell. Yes, it's been hell, but I came out on top because I did believe. I never wavered on my faith. Not one time did I ever waver on my faith, even when I was begging God to take my life. I never wavered on my faith. And I believe that that's why people take their lives. They get scared. They feel like they're alone. They don't know what to do. They don't know how to do it. They don't know where to turn. And then when they get out, especially with a narcissist relationship, they're going to torture you for months and years to come. And how to handle that is the same way, except with no contact, but you get to do it in a different way. And people don't, and that's why they go back. I went back 7 times.
Wow.
7 times. I went back to an abusive man. Before the 8th time that I called my brother and my sister and said, please come get me. He's going to kill me. And that's because I took his crack pipe away from him the night before, and he hit me. And when he did, I ran back and punched him back. I was in anger for the first time being with that man. And when I hit him, I knew that I was going to die that night if I didn't get out. So I did. And here I am,
And here
about to tell
you
that story. I'm alive. I'm grateful. I've been through crazy stuff since I've been back in 2 years. But I am grateful, honey. I have met some of the most wonderful people along my path that gave me part of them, not knowing what I was going through. Honey, I've been so hungry. I was frying up Ritz crackers. I am not gonna lie.
oh,
That's how hungry. And people didn't know I was that hungry, but they fed me anyway. I went without water for 6 months due to a woman that had a beef against me that I was renting from, and this was recently. And because she didn't want to fix my water, she evicted me. I went through 3 evictions, sat there 6 months with no water, and having this woman come in my house and going through all kind of crazy stuff. And I was going starving, got my car taken away. And I was sitting there on the floor, and I was like, nope, you know what? You told me to stand here and fight. I'm standing here and I'm fighting. I'm not going to give up. They're not going to take me down that easy. Next thing I know, I'm getting fed. I have people offering to take me places. Nobody knew exactly what was going on. They just knew I was just looking like a lost puppy going, okay, here I am, God. What do I do now?
right.
So I just kind of relaxed. And next thing I know, I got a car. I got a home, a 3-bedroom home. I'm within budget. I've got a job. I'm happy, 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 of course. And now I'm comfortable enough that I'm about to tell how it all happened by detail. Everything that I did, because, honey, I ain't the most innocent person in the world. Nobody is. None of us are perfect, or
Right.
we would never, none of us would be here.
Right.
So I'm going to tell what I did wrong, what I did to fix it, what I hope I did to fix it. I mean, my kids, I've got a story with my kids that is crazy, you know? So I know I ramble. I'm sorry. I'm excited. I get all kind of excited. I ramble a lot.
There you go.
Are you still there? There you are.
I'm still
I lost
here.
you.
It's
I do. I
okay. It's
ramble.
okay. But I'm
There is
still
so
here.
much to everything that is in my book and that's coming out in the Lisa T story. Now, the show Upside Down with Lisa T is my way of letting because I know I'm not the only person that goes through crazy stuff.
Right.
I want to hear what turned their lives upside down that made that difference to where they are, where they're at now. And oh, honey, I have spoken to some really, really cool people with some awesome stories that make me look like this big. I am not lying. I thought I was going through it. And when I talked to some of the people that I talked to, and I'm talking from every level, from big names to people like us, you know? So there's a lot of stories, and homeless people have some of the best ones.
I believe that. I
They
believe.
really do.
Miss Lisa, how can people, for one, when will your book be released?
It is set to be released next summer.
Okay.
Uh, and it
Amazing.
will be called Upside Down with Lisa T as well, because this is where it's all coming from. Things get turned upside down to be turned right side up.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And how can people tune into your show?
It will be on my link. You can find me at on Facebook at Lisa T. Uh, it will be on WFMCjams.com. And it will start airing really, really soon. We had a few issues over the weekend. We were supposed to start live, but we had rain and it was outdoors, and some really cool stuff happened. So we just go with the plan and go with the flow, and it'll happen when it happens. It's
I
coming
love that. I
soon.
love it. I love that. Miss Lisa, who you've already been an encouragement enough. But I
Oh,
do, like, as I ask all of my guests, but I really, really want you to just drop a piece of advice or give a little piece of gem for our listeners out there, maybe those who are in a storm right now, right? And they can't see the light. Their faith may be going a little wavery right now. As a survivor of the things that you've survived, as a person who's been able to depend on your faith and not have it waver at all, what is a piece of advice that you can give our listeners now?
breathe, breathe, get by yourself, Get out of the turmoil that's within that home. Step outside, put your feet in the dirt. If you get on your knees, always look up. If you feel down, always look up. Always talk. Always talk to yourself, because he's hearing you. Your faith is within you. And if you cannot talk to yourself and hear your faith, we're human. We don't like things we can't see, hear, or touch, right? So you
Right.
got to hear it. So when you're out there and you're praying and you hear your mind say, I just don't think God's with me anymore, then your heart goes, well, wait. Say that out loud. That's not true. Talk to yourself, because when you're talking to yourself, you're really talking to God. Your faith is really there. You just got to find that strength. And by all means, I'm available to talk to anybody. Anybody. I offer my services. I do talk to a lot of women. I got into a lot of groups when I started healing, a lot of narcissism and abuse groups, and started chatting with women that have been there, and men. Now, I can't speak for a man because I am a woman and I am a female that's went through what a female goes through. So I will not speak on behalf of a man, but I will speak on behalf of a female and a human. So showspro@gmail.com is a way to get in touch with me. Shoot me an email. I'll shoot you my phone number. I don't give it out to everybody. A lot of weirdos out there. But I'm happy to talk to anybody. But by all means, keep it as positive as you can in your negative situation. I know it sounds horrid to say. I mean, when you're being beat on, it's hard to think about that beautiful flower outside your door. But we gotta. You have to. That's the only way you're ever going to get out of it, is to start seeing that light and hearing that light and hearing your faith and seeing your faith within yourself.
That's so beautiful. Thank you
Oh,
again, Miss Lisa T, for being a guest on our show. I
thank you,
feel
baby.
like we have been honored to be speaking with a legend in the business. So
Oh,
I am truly honored. It is truly our pleasure.
thank you.
Um and I wish you much, much, much more success. You definitely have to come back and let us know, especially when that book drops. We
I
definitely want to
absolutely
know when
will.
that book drop as well.
I'll let y'all
Um,
know first.
yes, we love exclusives here on Total Praise Radio. Thank you again for being a guest today
Thank you.
with us on our show. I hope our listeners, I hope you guys have been inspired, and motivated. I hope you've been encouraged. I hope you've been blessed during this interview today. Continue to follow Total Praise Radio on Facebook at Total Praise Radio. Join the group. Join Total Praise Radio group on Facebook as well. And you can go to the station, go to www.totalentradio.com. Hit the Total Praise Radio button to listen. Until next time, everybody, I am your host, Miss Kayla, and we are signing out. Peace out.